All right, well, Amway is making great strides into the Indian market and, of course, globally with various products being launched. And, of course, the key health focus is what Amway is focusing on. And I'm joined by a very senior dignitary, Mr. Michael Nelson, the President and the Global CEO for Amway. Thank you so much and welcome to India.
Good
After
morning.
taking over as the President and the Global CEO, tell us how do you feel in India and what makes you so bullish over the Indian market?
Well, first of all, thank you for hosting me here. And, the India market is inspiring every time I visit. And now in this role, just to see how dynamic the market continues to be, we get a lot of learnings from India. And, I see India as one of the primary growth markets for our company in the future.
All right. Well, Michael, we've been speaking about the Amway growth story. It's been a long time into India, about 27 odd years that you have been into the Indian market.
That's
and
right.
Plus, a great manufacturing facility. Also, I want to know the key focus areas for Amway in India because, now the health sector is much being talked about.
Yes.
You have launched a couple of products in the, supplements and nutraceutical segment as well. Tell us, how do you plan to, overpower and dominate that segment into the Indian market, because now Indians are eventually getting up and realizing that
Yes.
health is the key focus, and so do you because you're a marathoner.
Yes.
So what's there? I mean, what's the focus on the Indian market here?
Our focus here in India is on health and well-being, and that's our global focus as a company. Coming out of COVID, I think people now they're very attuned to their personal health, and we deliver the products, and we deliver them in a way where they're part of a community, and that's critically important as well. I think that's a key differentiator for us, is that people have access to science-backed products with decades of great experience, the highest quality, but they're also part of a community as well.
All right. Over the past, about 27 years, you've invested close to about 1,000 crore rupees into the Indian market, and set up a manufacturing facility. I want to know, what's more for the Indian market now, because I'm sure you already have a established manufacturing facility. Do you plan to expand, or do you plan to get more production to the Indian market through that facility, or probably get it, through abroad?
Right. Well, one of the reasons I'm here this week is exactly that, is celebrating 10 years of our manufacturing facility here in India. Prime Minister Modi has a Make in India initiative. Well, we've been here for 10 years. We have invested $140 million into this market, and we continue to expand our product range. So we're bringing more products, including Ayurveda products, into India, but there's interest beyond as well. So we look forward to that facility in Madurai continuing to be, at capacity to provide products to the Indian market.
And what all new products can we expect now from Amway? Because nutraceuticals and health is what, of course, you've spoken about. But what else are you looking at to get into the Indian market, which is usually a hit into the global market, but is not present in India? So what's next for the Indian audience now?
So again, we're focused on health and well-being, but that includes inner health. So many of our Nutrilite products is our brand that brings scientifically credible and science-backed products, but outer health as well. So skincare and our beauty categories, and then we're in personal care and home care, air treatment, water treatment systems as well. So we're really looking holistically, inner, outer, and what surrounds you. For India, we continue to focus on Ayurveda products. I mean, just the centuries of history of that combines well with the 90 years of history we have with Nutrilite. So that's a range we continue to look at, how Amway can bring the best of science to those products as well.
Also, Michael, we usually when we talk about businesses, we talk about numbers, growth. Could you give us a number here when you talk about business in India? What are the numbers saying? I mean, are you in profit here, or probably you want to scale up manufacturing or scale up more, and probably have more stores or have more business operators, business developers under you, so that to eventually gain more market share into the Indian market?
Well, that's a key question. Is growth, and clearly this is a market that can provide growth for Amway globally. We see India as a high growth market for us in the future. In fact, we're investing $12 million in the next few years into stores, a place where our Amway business owners can gather, bring their communities together, investing into technology, really investing into capabilities for our business owners as well.
All right. Well, India's healthcare sector is very clogged up. There's a
Yes.
lot of competition. A lot of startups have started to come over and building over this segment with potential realizations that the health is the more thing to well-being.
Yes.
So I want to know any strategy that you have for the India market when it comes to gaining more market share. Where are you currently, and probably you want to get more into dominant position into the Indian market, I'm sure. But
Yes.
what's the plan going forward here?
Well, I see we're uniquely positioned at Amway to deliver in a few specific ways. The first, our focus in health and well-being, the science, the research and development we have. We have research and development facilities here in India and across the world. So products being one. The second is business ownership. We give entrepreneurs the chance to own their own business. Often it's capital investment at the front end that prevents people from doing that. We are a very low cost of entry where you can own your own business. And, this is an entrepreneurial market. I think that will resonate. And thirdly, it's community. Again, we bring people together. I think it's a youthful market here in India, 60% of the population under age 35. But often, we see people just looking at their devices all day. That's something we invest into technology. We make it easy for people to build a business, but it's also a way person-to-person connection. That can't be replaced, and that's something unique about Amway.
All right. When I was looking up towards Amway, we saw that you have 4 R&D labs
Yes.
currently operating into the Indian market. Tell us, what strategic importance do these labs hold for you? Because all the research and development is done there. Subsequently, products gets rolled out into the Indian market, and probably does for exports as well. I want to know from you about these R&D labs. What strategic outcomes do they bring to the Indian market, and do you have plans to export it to the furthermore countries as well?
That's a great question, because our R&D laboratories here in India service the globe, the entirety of Amway, but also focused on solutions for India. So it's a global and local. And Ayurveda is an area that we are specifically focused in, but many other products, and we're now exporting as well to Southeast Asian markets.
Okay. And now, so we saw that India recently had announced a few set of reforms when it comes to the GST. We cut rates from the banks, the central bank cut rates, and we saw GST reforms going forward. Eventually, the tax cuts by the companies were forward to the consumers so that the products become cheaper. So, how do you think India's tax system has evolved over a period of years? Because you've been here since you were an intern at Amway. You've seen the global market very closely, and now you're heading the business. How are you seeing this development in the Indian market? And do you think such measures by the government really help the consumers to bring in more and spend more?
Well, I've been with the company over 3 decades, and we are near the point of celebrating 30 years here in the Indian market. We see the reforms that the government here in India has made to make it easier to do business. We continue to make those investments because we see the potential in India in the future.
And if I may also ask you towards the end, a global outlook, because Amway is someone that, of course, you're heavily invested in the Indian market, but I want to talk about the global perspective now. A US-based company, now you have, of course, plans to expand, and of course, you have expanded to multiple countries now. I want to ask you, are there more further plans to get to more countries and, hold more of a dominant position into that segment as well?
Well, today we're in over 100 countries and territories across the world, but we continue to look at market expansion. There are opportunities when you look at the demographics and the population. So we are closely investigating. We actually have some additional markets. I can't make the announcement today, but that will be one that will be opening next year. And then we have additional plans for expansion in the future.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Michael, for speaking
to us.
Pleasure. And that's what the journey is all about, from an intern to a global CEO. And of course, I've been speaking to a lot of people at Amway, and an average of what people stay at Amway is about 20 to 25 odd years.
Yes.
So a story that's, of course, that used to be told to a lot of audiences. And of course, with the camera person Manish, this is Chetan Bhutani for Business Today.